Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Prince Harry has been penned as someone who is now fighting a losing battle regarding his pleas to be reinstated in the royal military. Harry is desperately fighting to maintain everything that he was so willingly ready to give up for his marriage to Meghan Markle, and it seems as though he has come unstuck and he is struggling to maintain this very privileged position of having one foot in as a member of the royal family and one foot out, which he is comfortably placed in the Hollywood world. Prince Harry always had this coming, and we are literally seeing the aftermath that he himself could not have predicted. He's made a lot of poor choices, and the chicken is coming home to roost as we speak. So I found this article by The Express, and they have pretty much highlighted that he is now fighting a losing battle and he is struggling to get everything that he wants out of this Megxit deal with his wife Megxie, who has really been lying low as of late, which is interesting. But I think that is due to their new media campaign to get their likability up. I think they themselves both know that it will serve them well as a couple if Harry does all the PR and promotion and she lies low while the dust settles. But we know that the dust will never settle, because as soon as Meghan Markle rears her head from the closet, they will be getting a lot of heat, fire and dragging. That's the only way I can kind of describe it. Sorry for my voice, I know it sounds rather dry, but I don't know why that is. But I guess maybe it's the change in the weather. I'm going to get into the article for you guys. Prince Harry's lawsuit win has sparked concerns the Duke of Sussex may be a victim to a losing battle to try to reclaim his previous level of involvement in official military appointments. Prince Harry's action against claims that he has snubbed the military community is a losing battle. Royal commentators have warned. This comes after the Duke of Sussex won an apology and substantial damages from the Mail on Sunday and Mail Online for accusing him of turning his back on the British Armed Forces. Royally Obsessed podcasts hosts Rachel Bowie and Roberta Florito discussed why his involvement would never be the same anyway. Miss Bowie told listeners, "Think about this big picture though. Harry was forced to step down from his military post when they backed away from their roles as senior royals. That's not going to change, even though he is so upset. We do know that anything about the military will strike a chord for Harry," which it has. It has hurt him because he was extremely distressed when he attended his farewell ceremony with Meghan, who felt as though everyone was clapping for her when in fact they was clapping for her husband. Harry looked as though he wanted to burst into major big boy tears, but he didn't. He held it back, and he was torn by that decision to leave the military. He was very torn in choosing to leave his culture and heritage behind, especially on that night. But he had to accept, or should I say he has to accept, that it is over. He's chosen his wife, he's chosen his son, he's chosen sunny California. That's the lifestyle that he craved, evidently, for all those years that he was in the royal firm. He just didn't have the courage to make a break for it. But I don't think that this big getaway escape that he's done with Meghan is really the true solution to Harry's misery as an extremely privileged man in the royal firm. But only time will tell, and it will take a while for him to personally realise that it has not been the greatest of all escapes. So I'm going to continue on here. She continued, if it's not reported correctly or unbiasedly, then it does seem to anger him. I just think that it's a little bit of a losing battle in a kind of way. His official involvement, at least in the capacity he was in, is never going to be the same. He just doesn't have those posts anymore unless they change it. Mrs. Florito added, there's so much talk that 1 year review is never going to happen. But if that's something that they really wanted to work out, maybe they could. After the Duke and Duchess of Sussex stepped back from their senior roles, it was agreed that the terms of their exit would be reviewed with the Prince in a year. This is expected to take place soon in the springtime. As part of that deal, Harry was indeed forced to give up 3 military official appointments. These were Captain General of the Royal Marines, Honorary Air Force Commandant of the Royal Air Force Base Honington, and Honorary Commodore-in-Chief of the Royal Naval Command's Small Ships and Diving. It was reported that this was the toughest loss for the Royal to swallow. Currently, no one has filled the positions in his absence. And it will take some time for the Queen to find a suitable replacement. Harry really has messed himself up, and he really has shot himself in the foot with his actions, with his lack of gratitude, and his general disregard for anyone else's thoughts and feelings outside of Meghan, the woman who is the other person in this diabolical marriage. That's all we can really describe it as. Meghan Markle has literally really ruined Harry's relationship with his family, and I think in part with his identity of himself. I don't think that Harry has a clear identity or a clear grasp on reality to an extent anymore. I'm not questioning his mental health or his mental stability, even though it has been open for discussion for quite some time now. He has admitted to therapy, as I have talked about previously on this channel, but I think that he is still grasping with the separation from what he really is and who he was raised to be and the life that he's living now. He wouldn't be so triggered by these little articles in the British tabloids. He wouldn't be so reactionary. He would take it with a pinch of salt. He would take it with an element of gratitude that he is still being spoken about, and he would let it go. He wouldn't keep on looking in his rear view mirror to see what the British media are saying about him or possibly fabricating about him. He would move on. Why would he worry so much unless it wasn't a sore point for him? And that's just it. It is a sore point for Prince Harry. He hasn't truly left his past behind, his culture behind, or what it is to be British. I think deep down he knows that his role is here in the UK, serving the British public as his family have done for generations and generations and centuries. And they will continue to do that. Harry appears to be a fractured, broken, fragile version of his former glory. And it's really sad to witness, or should I say bear witness, to the demise of our Prince Harry. But he is still on the fence. He is still persevering in this diabolical, as I've said already, marriage, this diabolical public persona that's simply bringing him absolutely no joy. It's a financial conundrum, and it is an emotionally draining place to be in. I can only put it in that way. Meghan has run for the hills She's in hiding, and as usual, she's leaving a disastrous mess in her wake. I'll be back with another video, guys. Until then, take care. Bye.